We've now spent a lot of time discussing Flexbox, so it's time to apply this knowledge to our component. Recall that our goal that we established in the last section was to use a new view container, two of them in fact, that one is going to wrap the image to the left-hand side, and then another one is going to wrap the text to the right-hand side as well. So I call this text container. It is a view tag that is going to serve as a text container, just to be clear with the terminology there. That text container should have the rules flex direction column to make everything line up vertically, and also justify content of space around to make sure that we get equal spacing of our white space above the text tags, between them, and below as well. So let's get started with this. I'm in my album detail component right here, and here's the card section with our existing single text tag. So it is to this card section right here that we're going to want to add two new view tags. One for the image and then one for the the text as well. So we'll start off by importing view at the top from React Native, and then we'll also add in our two new view tags in here. So one that will eventually house the image that we still need to add, and then the second to wrap the two lines of text that we still need to place. So we've got the one existing text tag right here for our album title. We'll add in another text tag to show our artist name as well. If you recall the JSON data that we got back from our album, here it is right here, and I know it's kind of small, let me dial it up. There we go. So right now we're making use of the album title property. We also have access to the album artist property as well, and that's how we get the artist name. So inside of our component right here, if we reference props.album.artist, that will give the artist name inside of this text tag. So we'll say props.album.artist. And so now we would expect to have both our title of the album and the artist name in here as well. Okay, so now last step for right now, we're going to add in some styling rules for this single view container right here, and our sole purpose is to make sure that this text lines up vertically, number one, and that it uses that justify content of space around so that we get equal white space above, between, and below the two text tags. So we'll start off by adding in our styles object at the bottom. And then I'm going to use a style name of header content style. If you can think of a better name than this right here, definitely go for it. Remember that all the property names that we use are more or less arbitrary, right? They're just something that have to make sense to ourselves as engineers when we come back and look at this component some number of weeks, months, years in the future. So it's just something that needs to make sense to ourselves. So inside of here, we'll specify our flex direction of column and a justify content of space around. Next, we will apply this style to our view container right here. So we'll say style is styles.header content style, like so. Okay, so let's now refresh our app and see how we're doing. So cool, we definitely have both the album name and the artist name right beneath it. You'll notice that right now, the card that we have is kind of condensing down to just wrap, or let me rephrase that a different way. The card's height is dictated by the amount of text that's sitting inside of it right now. So at this point in time, these Flexbox rules we add, specifically the justify content space around, it appears that it's not really doing anything at this point in time. It's when we start to resize the height of this thing, the height of this section right here, that we're going to see how that justify content of space around works. The height of this section right here is going to start to change as soon as we add in that image tag. So let's continue in the next section and start working on getting that image tag in here so that we have a card section with some measurable, kind of non-minimum height. So I'll see you in the next section.